Hey everybody, Tony here with Nothing But Car Reviews, and today we're taking a look at a brand new 2023 Cadillac XT5 Luxury, so let's get right into it. So this XT5 Luxury comes in a new color. It's called Latte Metallic. Looks really good. It's kind of like a grayish color. And then the interior consists of jet black leather. And then for our powertrain, we have a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder made it with a 9-speed automatic transmission. As you get to the back end here, we have our LED tail lights. We're gonna have our brake lights there, reverse light here, and then our dual exhaust. And because of the chip shortage, you're not gonna get that park assist for the rear or the front. Had to get that retrofitted later. But a very good sized trunk space. And then if you ever wanna get even more cargo space, you can pull up here. Or if you're in the front, you can pull up here, and then those seats will fold flat, and the seat belt's in the way there, but it'll fold flat there. Let's go ahead and close this up. And as we come around to the side here, just gonna take a quick look at the fuel filler. That's where you put the gas. And then we get passive keyless entry on all 4 doors. And then down here, we have these 18-inch aluminum wheels, which I always like to go with the bigger 20-inch LPOs on the XT5s, but they're decent. Now what I really like is this front end here. We get LED headlamps along with LED daytime running lights and the signature lights there. And I just love how they did this black gloss here, and you have this little front lip here, black gloss, and then you have the black gloss right here, and then you have the aluminum, the brushed aluminum right there, and then around the grill there. It looks really, really nice. But let me go ahead and pop the hood. And there's that 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder there. But next, let's go ahead and take a look from the driver's seat. So from the driver's seat here, really good overall feel from the leather here. I really like that. Even though it's not the perforated leather, you still get the heated seats, and it feels a little more squishy to me, which I like. And in terms of headroom, I've got quite a bit, but the way the roof slopes down, I feel like I'm in a much smaller car. So it's kind of weird feeling. I don't know if I like it or dislike it, but overall, really good room in here. The seat bottom is wide enough to fit me. The steering wheel feels really nice, and just everything seems like pretty high quality, especially for the price point. In a Cadillac, you'd expect that. But over here, the driver's door panel here, we have power door locks, power windows, and then the front 2 are automatic up and down. And then we have our power mirrors here, and of course we can lock all the windows to keep the kids from messing with it. And down in here, that's where we actually adjust how high we want our power liftgate to go, and we can adjust that by turning the knob or turning it all the way off so that you can't open it. And then you can just hit that button there to open and close the tailgate, or liftgate, excuse me. And then here we have our Bose sound system. It's going to be an 8-speaker system. But over here to the steering wheel, we can turn our lane departure on and off, adjust that forward collision gap adjust. We can go through our radio station favorites or our track list here, volume here, and then over on this side is how we go through our gauge cluster. You can kind of see that in the background as I go through all the options there. And there's a lot to choose from, which I really like. If you want to see tire pressure, fuel economy, which I always like to leave it on fuel economy to test that out. But to the left side of the steering wheel here, we have voice recognition, Bluetooth, and then cruise controls here. And then we have paddle shifters behind the steering wheel here. And of course we have our headlamp controls, and then you hit this button on the side here if you want to use or toggle your auto high beams. And then we have windshield wipers over here, and then blinkers there. But next, let's go ahead and take a look from the passenger side. So like I said, I really like how comfortable the seats are and how they fit my body overall. We do have dual power seats, so they're pretty much the same. You got an 8-way, I believe, for the driver and front passenger. And the only thing it's missing is the power lumbar support, and people in this segment, a lot of them want to have that. Me personally, I don't use it, so that wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. But if you're gonna pay 55 grand for a vehicle, that might be something you want to do and step up to maybe a premium luxury and pay an extra 5 to 7 grand. So just something to keep in mind there. Over here, I really like the brushed aluminum here, and it's kind of got that aluminum mirror finish here, and then we have that black leather there. It feels really nice, and it looks really modern too. Here we have our glove compartment, owner's manuals and all that. Pretty decent size. But let's go ahead and check out this radio. So we get AM, FM, XM, along with Bluetooth audio. And then we have a Wi-Fi hotspot, and we get our Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. And then we can use that wirelessly. And then we have our dual zone automatic climate controls here. Then we have buttons down below, which we'll get to in a second. And I really like this home page here. This is probably how I would leave it, because I can have my audio here, and then if my phone's connected, I can use that there. And then I believe with the Apple CarPlay, you'd be in that app anyway, and you can kind of pull up your nav and all of that off of your phone, which is nice to have. And over here, we can toggle our auto stop, and then we can toggle our parking sensors when they're equipped. And a mute button down here, home button here. And then down here, like I said, we have buttons for the climate controls, so we can adjust fan speed, temperature, and we can toggle the auto mode here. And then there are those 3-stage heated seats for the driver and front passenger. A little storage here. And let's check out this backup camera, I about forgot. And there's that HD backup camera, and there are the guidelines that turn as you turn the steering wheel to show you where you're going. And then over here, we have our push button start. But let's get to this shifter. So I like they took away the older ones they had where you had to like push up and then to the left to put in reverse. Now you just hit the button on the side, push all the way up for reverse, and then you can tap down for drive, and then from drive you can tap up to neutral, and then from park you hit that button, pull down for drive, and then you can tap for the manual mode, and you can use those paddle shifters. And there's P for park. Here's that key fob with remote start, and then we have a 2-touch power lift gate there from the key fob. And then I really like this here. You can just push and then close out those cup holders, and then you just push it all the way back, and you have access to them. But one of the best things that Cadillac has done over the last couple of years, as they've kind of refreshed the interior of the XT5, is put in this volume knob here so that I don't have to scroll on the screen, because that was very, very cumbersome. I did not like that at all. But we also have this knob here if you don't want to use a touch screen, kind of like in the BMWs, Audis, Mercedes, and you can scroll through the screen there. And then we have a quick shortcut for audio, the phone, track list, radio stations, and then home button, back button. Down here we have traction control we can toggle, and then here we have our modes, so we can go from Tour, Sport to Snow and Ice, hitting that button there. Then here we have our glove compartment, or not glove compartment, center console cubby space, and then we have a nice removable tray there. Excuse me, only goes that way. It goes up to like right there, I think. But then we have a USB-A and a USB-C port there, and then an SD card reader. And then finally up here, we have a universal home remote, so we can use a universal garage door transmitter once that's linked up. But now we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the rear seat space. So from the rear space, really good interior space here. I still have headroom, about a ½ inch to an inch, being 6'3". The seat in front of me is adjusted for someone of my size, and then my knees are just barely touching the back of the seat here. And when I put my feet where a little straighter, my knees aren't touching at all. But I really like how I can slide my feet right underneath the seat, and you can fit 3, probably 6 foot adults back here. Really impressed, because it's just a 2-row SUV. But down here we have our AC vents, And then we have a little storage here, bigger storage here, and then a USB-C and a USB-A charge port there. And I really like the seat pockets here. Just how you're able to stuff your maps or just loose junk in there. And then this center seat here, you can fold that down and use the cup holders. And one thing I just noticed, I really like, you don't see these a lot in the newer vehicles, just how you can hold the bar there. And it's easy to put your hangers there or whatever if you have dress shirts, pants, something like that. So I like they kept those in here. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and take this 2023 XT5 out on the road for a quick test drive. So I'm going to start the drive out. I've had it in tour mode. I'm going to go ahead and put it into sport. I think I had it in snow and ice actually. Give it a little throttle here. I love how when you put your foot into it ever so slightly, the turbo kicks on and does its thing, and you can feel the boost without having to shift. And the ride quality itself is very, very nice. Very smooth ride. And I will say, my mother has a 3.6 liter V6. I think they had an 8-speed automatic in it. She has a 17 XT5 or an 18 XT5. And I really am impressed with this turbocharged powertrain as opposed to the naturally aspirated V6. And of course you get better fuel economy, but when that turbo does its thing, it feels much faster than that 3.6 does. And that's one thing I like about turbo engines. They just feel faster in that sweet spot, that range between like 2,000, 4,000 RPMs. And what Cadillac has done is made this 2-liter a lot less throaty, well, I should say more throaty and less whiny than in the other vehicles I've tested with this powertrain. It just sounds really tough, really luxurious. And I really like the brake pedal feels, and I've liked that in the XT5s for quite some time. And of course, with it being a Cadillac, you expect to have the best of the best in terms of ride quality. And this XT5 does not disappoint. And one thing I've never really thought about, but when I'm driving this, I do feel like I'm driving like an older DeVille, and how it floats down the road and how the steering wheel feels big and how I have all this interior space. But it also, of course, with it being on the similar platform as the Buick and GMCs, it also has that agility to it as well. I'm very comfortable driving the vehicle. The steering isn't too loose, isn't too tight. And the 9-speed automatic is just a really, really good transmission. Very responsive. And then when you need to be in the highest gear, it gets you very good fuel economy. But as we come to an end of the test drive, I'm just going to give my final thoughts on the XT5 and just go over how much this one stickers for. So I want to give a big shout out to Cadillac of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this XT5 today. I'll leave a link below in the description to the window sticker, as well as the vehicle and their entire inventory, so you can check out what they have. Now, in terms of this XT5, I thought it stickered for a lot more, but that's probably with dealer markup and all of that. This one actually stickers for right at like $46,200, so really not a bad price at all for something like this. Of course, with the chip shortage and all that, you'll probably pay an additional $5 to $8 grand, just depending on where you get it. So keeping that in mind, definitely, if it weren't for the chip shortage and all of that, I would definitely recommend this, because at $46,000, really, really have a lot going on here. You have your lane departure, forward collision alert, of course, the overall look of it, and I love this color, and that's like a $700 option. But with all that being said, I really like the powertrain. Just a really, really good overall vehicle if you want something luxurious. So I want to thank you all for watching the video. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you like what you saw today, and I'll catch you all on the next one.